Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Pitchfork Fiber podcast. My name is Hunter, and I will be your host today. So, I'm really excited because I podcasted just a couple days ago, and normally, well, at least in my previous record, it's been a while in between each podcast. So, I'm excited because I now have opportunities to podcast more, and I want to just share that with you all. So, I'm sorry that the last one hasn't uploaded as quick as I would have expected. The Wi-Fi at my parents' house is not really working very well, so it takes a really long time to upload, and I've had a couple technical problems. So that's just the reason why. But it's edited and ready to upload, but just having a little bit of difficulty. But again, I'm in a new location. I'm not in Ohio anymore. So I was in Ohio the last podcast at my parents' house. And right now I am in Chicago, Illinois, where I'm visiting some friends. One of the first podcasts I talked about a job that I had in Chicago. And so this past summer I spent the whole summer here in Chicago working at the Art Institute of Chicago. So, I'm back and I'm visiting friends and enjoying it. However, it is so cold. So, yesterday was the coldest it's been the whole year, the whole winter so far. And it was like 5, 6, 7 degrees. And that's without wind chill Fahrenheit. So, with wind chill, it was like negative 15 degrees Fahrenheit, and I was just absolutely astonished at how cold it was. I used to live in Wisconsin, as you can see. I went to University of Wisconsin for a year. I was on the diving team, and I was used to the cold, but I have been in 70-degree weather in Arizona for many years, so I forget what 2-3 degrees feels like, and oh my goodness. It was absolutely so frigid that I was wearing, several layers, a coat, a scarf, my hat, huge mittens. They're right here, actually. This is the hat. This is my Brio Garter hat, Stephen West knit, that I have been wearing around, and it's super warm because it is brioche, and then I can roll it up and make it double. So it's like 4 layers, and it really keeps your ears warm. But I've been using these giant mittens, and they're crazy insulated. They just keep you very, very warm. But you need them because it's so extremely cold. But everything's covered except for like right here. And my forehead was so cold that I couldn't like move my eyebrows. Outrageous. It's so cold. But it's warmer today. It's like 18 or 19 degrees, and it's supposed to be like 20, today. So that's actually feels so much better than single digits. So, but I just thought I'd get a quick update. And right now I'm in my friend's apartment. So he is from Canada, and he left. He goes to school here in Chicago, and we previously went to school in Arizona together. He is in law school, and he has gone back to his home in Canada. And I had asked him, like, I didn't know if he would be in town or not. But he was like, yeah, you can stay in my apartment. Like, I'll give you my key, and you can just stay there while visiting, with friends and with some other people. So it was extremely generous of him. So right now I am on the 16th floor overlooking downtown Chicago, which is super cool. When I lived here, I lived on the 9th floor, and my view was not quite this spectacular. So I'll show you that in a little bit. But I did get the chance yesterday, so I drove up yesterday. It was not a bad drive, really not bad at all. Got in, and then I had a few hours to kill before I was going to meet with a friend for dinner, and I'm staying really close to this festival called the Kris Kringle Festival, which is just like a little German village that they've made up in one of the squares in Chicago. and it's literally right out the window. I can see down from it from being up here. And so I was like, oh, I might as well just go check it out because it's been really, really busy. Some of my friends have been Snapchatting and stuff, pictures of them visiting the festival, and it's so packed on the weekend. So I thought, oh, like it doesn't look that busy. I'll head down. And on my way there, I ran into one of my friends who was going there too. And so we kind of walked around, and it was really fun. And I picked up, so it's like a little German village, and they sell Christmas trinkets and lots of fun things. But I got hot chocolate, and I got it in this mug. And it's so cool. I love this. It says Kris Kringle. Wait, Kris Kringle Market. Kris Kringle Market. And there's like this random girl, I don't know, but the Chicago skyline. And then it has these, people kind of walking around, and this is what the market looks like. It says 2016. It's just fun, and it says Chicago on it. And there's the stars, the classic Chicago stars. If you know what the Chicago flag looks like, it has the blue lines with the white center with the red stars, and those are like pretty. And then on the inside, it's blue. It's really cool. It's like super small, and I like that because I have a lot of mugs that are like ginormous. Because when I drink coffee, it's like, give me a huge jug. But this is perfect. It's so fun. I don't know. I really like it. So I picked this up. But then after that, I was going up to kind of Lakeview area for dinner with a friend as well. And so I have been to Knit One before. It's like a really cute shop in Chicago, in Lakeview area, which is, if you're not familiar with the city, it's kind of north. It's one of the more northern neighborhoods of Chicago, not super north, but if the Loop, which is kind of like the very downtown with all the tall buildings, if you go just north of there, kind of by Wrigleyville, which is where the Chicago Cubs play, it's just more north of there, a little bit north, west of that, and so that's where this is. And I walked around, and it's always been it's probably one of my favorite places, yarn shops in Chicago, just because the owner, she is so friendly. They're always so nice. They always ask you, if they can help you find anything. They always come over and just talk about the yarn to you. They're just so nice, and I never feel pressured into buying things. I find that a lot of times when shopping for yarn, they kind of are pushy, or, oh, this is great, you should buy it, and that always makes me feel uncomfortable. I'm going to spend my money my own ways. If I want to just look, I can just look. But they're always so awesome, and they just they talk about what other customers have made with the yarns, and they're really knowledgeable about the colorways, and they have a large variety, and you should check them out on Instagram. Their Instagram is, let me look it up really quick. Sorry about this. I just have it open, and I want to share it with you. Sorry, Wi-Fi is not working. Okay. It's Knit One CHGO, like Chicago. Knit One CHGO, and they have lots of fun photos of their display. They have a really pretty window display, and it's been snowing, so they have some beautiful pictures of it snowing. But inside, wonderful yarn, a big long central table that people just sit and knit at. Really cozy and friendly, especially when it's freezing out. And even a lady had her dog inside, and they were just knitting, and it was so fun. But yeah, so I went there and picked up. I was looking for one yarn because I started this. I haven't started, but I want to make the Shockwave shawl. I've talked about this every time. The blanket, slanket, scarf thing, and every time I talk about it, but I don't have the yarn to finish it out with. And I've bought when I was here, I bought three different colorways of Chicago yarn that I got in Chicago, and I wanted to buy one more. So I'll have it. She wrapped it up really cute for me in some tissue paper because I had a book bag and I didn't need a bag. But I'll first show you what I picked up for the shawl. I have a darker charcoal color. I have this kind of mixture of light greens and blues color, and then I have a tan with speckles of green, red, kind of yellow, and oranges that's mostly neutral. And then I needed a bright pop of color that really tied everything together. So I picked up this, which is Madeline Tosh Merino Light Candlewick. And this is 100% merino wool, fingering weight 420 yards or 384 meters. And I mean, this is like, it's funny, this year I've noticed an extreme like color trend of everything I gravitate towards, and it's this mustardy kind of color with going towards more green, but definitely definitely more of the brown hues, not bright, even though I have made, but I just love this color, and this will look amazing with my other colors. So this is what I picked up. So beautiful. But then I was walking around and I saw this other skein, and I was like thinking, oh, this would look cool in it, but it has like this purple color. But anyways, this is what I picked up as well, which is just, I mean, when I checked out, the lady was like, this is my favorite colorway of them. This is Long Dog Yarn, and this is their label. I don't know if you can see it. Long Dog Yarn. Long Dog Yarn, hand-dyed yarn creations by Brandy Velton. And this is their sock base in 80% superwash merino wool, 20% nylon, 357 yards, and 100 grams. So this is probably a little bit more of like a sport weight, but I definitely could use, I mean, it's just a little bit of a thicker of a sock. But look at these colors. I mean, first you have this beautiful purple, and this is very well represented of what the colors are. I'm in really nice natural lighting right now, so this beautiful, of course, mustardy, almost chartreusey green. You can see like turning green. Then you have this beautiful lavender, but kind of gray. It's definitely more. This is kind of looking bright, but it's definitely more of it's going towards the more neutral rather than vibrant. There are some vibrant pops of like red, but you know, how pretty. And together even, these are so awesome. So I just had to buy this one anyways. I'll find something to make with it. And I just talked about this yesterday. I don't buy yarn unless I have if I have something in mind to make it with. But I mean, I can break my rules because I don't ever come to Chicago very often. When I do, I want to, buy something that makes me happy. And it's Christmas time, so I can, pick up something that makes me happy. But yeah, you should definitely, if you're ever in Chicago, sorry about that, I just hit the table. If you're ever in Chicago, please check out Knit One Chicago. They're wonderful. Definitely another place you have to check out. I know there are quite a few knitting stores, and of all the ones I've been to, that one is definitely probably my favorite. I also really like. There's another one called Nina, which is in Wicker Park, which is a kind of western suburb of Chicago. And I don't normally go that direction very often. There's not really a whole lot. There's a ton of stuff to do there, but I don't normally go to Wicker Park. So if I were to head that way and take the Blue Line to get there, which is the train, I would definitely stop at Nina. And they're a very modern, very clean line store where the yarn really takes display versus Knit One, which is more of kind of like, it reminds me of like a bookstore where it's just full of books, stacked all the way to the ceiling, and it's just so exciting because there's just so many to choose from. That's how it is, but with yarn. Yarn everywhere, tons of different colors. It's really pretty. Nina's more of a streamline, all in a row, hanging, in really nice displays. They're not normally like stacked, piled on top of one another. They are, they're a little bit more precisely hung and stuff like that. So that's another one of my favorite stores, but definitely really cool. When I was at Knit One, I wanted to pick up some Hedgehog fibers because I never have knit with their fiber before. It is a little bit pricier though. I could have bought one of their yarns, but I decided to buy two. Not that it's like extremely cheaper, but extremely pricey. But I decided to buy two skeins and make myself feel better about it. I don't know. That's how I justify it. But they had. I liked their colorways, but they were just too bright for I think this project that I'm making. If I had more of a bright palette of colors, I would have definitely picked up one of those skeins because they had some awesome colorways. But I needed something that would kind of fit into the more earthy neutrals that I'm using, rather than the bright, vibrant, fluorescent neons. So I'm really happy with what I chose, and I probably won't have the opportunity to go shopping for any more yarn while I'm here, just because I'm only here for really like 2 days combined. I came, half of the day yesterday. I have all day today, and I'll leave probably around noon tomorrow, just because I'm then driving up to Madison, Wisconsin, which is where University of Wisconsin is, for a friend's graduation. She's graduating, and so I am going to go up there and hang out there for just a few days, stop back in Chicago for another day, probably stay here, and then drive home, because I don't want to drive all the way from Wisconsin to Ohio. It's kind of a long drive, so split it up. But I probably won't do that. I definitely want to walk around. I couldn't really walk around yesterday. There's so much. This summer, I just would walk. I would just go walking streets, and just because there's so much to see, like you can't see it unless you just are exploring. But it was way too cold. Like you couldn't be outside for more than probably 10 minutes at a time without really getting to the point where, like, I even had my mittens on and I took them off just to check Google Maps. And bringing my hand out for that, 1 minute, they were so cold that I couldn't actually text. My fingers didn't work. So it's it is that cold. So there's no way that I'm gonna go walk around the streets of downtown Chicago. But I want to look at the window displays at Macy's and the Saks Fifth Avenue, and I'd like to do that. So I'll probably do that tonight, just because it is warmer and I'm more prepared. I brought long johns, actually that I'll wear underneath my other pants, just because it's that cold. But I brought the appropriate clothing. And yesterday I was prepared, but not really mentally. I wasn't mentally prepared for how cold it was. But today I'm okay, it's cold. I'm gonna be bundled. I'm not bringing my hands out of my gloves for anything. No one texts me. I'm not responding. I'm not taking my hands out of my mittens. So, and at this point, wearing your woolen things, my hat is awesome just because it is worsted weight yarn and it is so thick. But to be honest, if I were wearing handmade gloves or something, I don't think they would not be warm enough, because it's the wind. Chicago is the windy city, and it really does just absolutely pierce through you, and you need to be wearing, appropriate clothing. So I have a Columbia jacket and these mittens that are, completely water and windproof, and they have the inside that's super fluffy. So yeah, definitely something not when it's 2 degrees out or 3. But right now it probably would be fine, just because it's a little bit warmer. But yeah, this morning I woke up, went into Whole Foods, got a breakfast sandwich and some coffee, just kind of walked a little bit around down here, and then just came back up to the apartment, and now I'm here. So I'm heading out to the Art Institute of Chicago in just probably 10-15 minutes to meet up with someone. We're going to go to get some lunch, then go walk around my favorite museum of all, which is the Art Institute of Chicago, because it's awesome and you need to check it out. Always have to check it out. It's so big, you could spend more than 1 or 2 visits not even seeing everything, and spend 4, 5, 6 hours there. But I want to see the new stuff, so it will be exciting. But I just wanted to check in, and I hope you are having a wonderful holiday season. Again, it is getting closer and closer to Christmas, and it's cold outside, which makes it seem like Christmas, because that's how it was when I grew up. So, But I want to say happy knitting, happy making things. It's the perfect time of year for that, at least here in the Midwest. And I just want you to have a wonderful day and enjoy yourself. So see you later. Bye.